Hey y'all, hey, this is Delisa Robinson with Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the Wholesale Real Estate. And the word mini should be in there. This is a Wholesale Real Estate mini bootcamp. Our official bootcamp is a long process that we do, and we go more in depth than we can in an hour. So we're over the next week, we're gonna go through a mini bootcamp. So get your pens, get your papers, and let's get started. As always, this is a Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo presentation. Our presentation is Wholesaling Real Estate Mini Bootcamp. I am the hostess with the mostest, your official real estate diva, Delisa Robinson, owner and CEO of Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo. We're a full service real estate investment firm. I have been a real estate investor out here in all of these real estate streets for at least 22 years and counting. Social media marketing advocate, because I have built a business on social media and I can teach you how to do that as well. Business consultant. When we say full service real estate for Trinity Alliance Group, or TAG 716 if you like the acronym, we mean we do it all. We do real estate sales first, we do retail, which is on the market, wholesale, which is off the market, which you will all learn about today, or at least some of it. And real estate investments. We have put our money into other projects and made a return on our investment. And we have taken people to not taken people's money, but we've allowed people to take their money and invest in our projects and get a return on their investment. Real estate lending. When we say real estate lending, this is where we are a loan originations unit. We have a loan originations division for hard money and traditional lending. We have relationship with lenders who service all 50 states. So if you need us, hit us up. Portfolio building and management. We do not manage property. That's one thing I want to make very, very clear. When I say portfolio building, we assist our clients with building real estate portfolios. We currently have several of our clients who have built multi-million-dollar real estate portfolios that are cash flowing and profit bearing. Now, management comes into when we say sell, you sell. When we say buy, you buy. When we say hold on, the market in that area is getting better because we hear this, that, or the other. So that's what we mean by management. We guide you through the process until you learn the process for yourself. So today you guys want to know, what is wholesaling real estate? Wholesaling real estate is basically, wholesaling real estate is when the wholesaler contracts a home from a motivated seller. See, we say motivated because there's a difference between a motivated seller and just somebody looky-loo trying to get you to make them a price in that whole section of the real estate that says make me move. We're not looking for make me move type people. We're looking for people who really want to sell their property. Once we find that property, we match it with a qualified buyer and we purchase it for one price, we sell it for another price. The difference is the profit for the wholesaler in the middle. So if you buy a property for $10,000, you sell it for $20,000, you make $10,000. That is your profit as a wholesaler. Unlike flipping, when wholesaling real estate, there are no repairs and no carrying costs normally. Some flippers, some wholesalers, I should say, will do a little repair to the property just to get more of a profit. But I don't do that because I am a flipper, so I'll just flip it if I'm going to do that. So what do wholesalers do? Isn't that a question that a lot of people want to know? Absolutely is. What do wholesalers do? This can be a really loaded question because some wholesalers do way more than others and some don't do half as much as others. Some people make a lot of money wholesaling. Some people are good with their $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 per month, one deal per month, where this just supplements the income that they have. So what do wholesalers really do? Wholesalers usually find distressed properties, such as my personal favorite, the zombie house. And what zombie house is this? It's not the house that just got boarded up. A zombie house is a house that has been abandoned and vacant and boarded up for years and years and years and years and years. It is an eyesore to your neighborhood. It has caused problems. People have broken into it. People have stolen the pipes out of it. It is a true zombie house. Zombie as in it has no soul, because that's what most zombies are, right? So what do you do with that house? Who wants to live next door to that? Nobody. Who wishes it could get fixed up? Everybody. So flipping a zombie house, you would think, wouldn't be a problem. But a lot of people have an issue with it because there's this little nasty word right now that's out called gentrification. Now, gentrification, I'm not going to go into it. You guys can look it up and you tell me if it's a bad thing. I honestly don't think it's a bad thing. So that's just me, and I'm sticking to it. And as we go through these courses, you'll see why I say that's not a bad thing. Now, generally, a wholesaler will do no repairs. Like I said before, a wholesaler will not do any repairs. Some wholesalers will do minor repairs, and they call it, I think it's this new term, a micro flip or an astro flip. I don't know what it is. I don't do it, but I'll look it up for you guys, just so you guys will know. But generally, a wholesaler will do no repairs. Some people will do a roof and then they'll flip it, because a roof is like one of the most expensive things a flipper can do. So if I say, hey, I've got this house, it's been boarded up for 20 years, but it's got a new roof, that makes it more appealing. If you've got a good connection with a roofer, or hey, we painted the outside white just so it looks fresher. You know, things like that people do. And a lot of people do it, which is so surprising to me, when the whole purpose is to not do any work to the house. You will have to skip trace. Now, if you're not familiar with the term skip trace, it comes from the collections world, or at least that's the only place I've heard it besides this real estate world. In collections, which I was a party of for many, many, many years, 20 at least, I started in collections, and that's how I ended up in real estate investment. I took those bonus checks in collections and bought rental property. Now, skip tracing, absentee property owners. Skip tracing is to find someone, trace, who has skipped out. That's just where the term comes from. So skip trace, you are to find an absentee property owner. The picture to the left is a zombie house. It's all boarded up. It's not, people haven't lived in it in years and years and years and years. And nobody knows who owns this anymore. So you will skip trace the absentee property owner. And just for the record, an absentee property owner is anyone who does not live in the property. I don't care if they live next door. The owner will be listed as absentee because they don't live at the property. So you will also negotiate both sides of the deal. You will negotiate your contract with the seller. You will negotiate then your contract with the buyer. Prospect for motivated sellers and qualified buyers. It is your job to find your business. You have to know how to find your business. And over the next 4 or 5 days, we are going to get into that during this Lunch and Learn. We get more in depth in it in our wholesale network and in our wholesale boot camp, the major boot camp that we do. Those classes are 2 to 3 hours long, and there's videos for you to watch and everything else. But for our Lunch and Learn series, we keep it to 30 minutes to an hour. So we are here just to give you the glance over. We will provide you with some details, but you're going to have to do some investigating on your own once this is over. So to prospect for motivated sellers, there's a key word. Motivated sellers want to sell. And qualified buyers. People say, well, what's a qualified buyer? Qualified buyer is somebody you've taken through your qualification process, and you know that if you find them the house, they're going to buy it from you. You will market your property accordingly, both in person, on social media, however you decide to market, you will market. And we will go over some marketing techniques later in this week. And you will act as your own transaction coordinator. unless you can hire someone to do this, which I highly recommend if you're anything like me and you get bogged down and you hate paperwork. Yep, absolutely hate paperwork. So who should wholesale? Who should become a wholesaler? Who should do this? Now, there's a lot of people who hear, oh my gosh, you made $5,000 in one transaction. Oh, you made $20,000 in one transaction. I want to do it. I want to do it. I want to do it. This business is not for everybody. So who should wholesale? These people. You should wholesale. This is a part of real estate that is not for everyone. Wholesaling is not for everyone. Just like being a real estate agent isn't for everyone. Being a real estate attorney isn't for everyone. Being a real estate investor is not for everyone. You have to be a certain kind of special to be a wholesaler. And I say that tongue in cheek because some people just say we're plain crazy for doing some of the things that we do. You have to, I say anyone looking, if you are looking to build cash because you have no cash, even if you want to start another business, you can wholesale real estate. You should wholesale real estate. If you are looking to invest in real estate, but you have no money down, you should be wholesale. You should start out wholesaling. If you are a real estate investor who is strapped for cash, you should wholesale just to build up enough cash to give yourself a cushion, especially if you're in the process of flipping a house for cash and you're running low on funds and don't want to take out a loan. This business requires patience. Wholesaling is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Sometimes it takes months, sometimes it takes days, sometimes it can take weeks. It depends on, each property is unique. You have to be a great communicator. The reason why I say this, and this actually is my worst weakness, it is, and I have many weaknesses, but this is my worst one. You will be required to network and communicate with people on a daily basis. And sometimes I get so bogged down. This is why I have an assistant, so that that assistant can be the person who does the networking for me, because I like to be out looking for properties, scoping properties, finding the properties. I like to do anything other than sit in behind my laptop and call people or talk to people day in, day out. It's just not my strong suit. And I mean, and that's the one thing you need to know. You need to know your weakness. And I get so wrapped up into doing the job, I might forget to call you. So you have to be a great communicator. You have to be a go-getter. This is not the time or the sector of real estate period. You can't be lazy, but it's especially in wholesaling, because you dictate you write your own paycheck. So you cannot be lazy when it comes to wholesaling. You have to be committed. If it requires a lot of work, a lot of planning, and a lot of marketing. So if you are not a self-starter who can plan, market, and generate your own work, first of all, real estate in itself is not for you, but wholesaling is definitely not for you. Okay, and now the reason why I say this, you have to be able to generate your own money. You have to be able to, in order to write your own paycheck, you actually have to set up the accounts. Now, if you want to be a real estate investor and just flip houses, then you're going to hire a wholesaler. Everything I just named is what you want to look for in your wholesaler. You don't want this to be, you don't want them to, for lack of a better term, be a half-assed lazy person with no ambition, who's looking for a handout. You can't work like that. See what I'm saying? All right, let's get into it. How do I get started in wholesaling? A very, very loaded question. I got started, actually I had a cousin. I went to Florida for a funeral about 3-4 years ago. And like I said, I've been a real estate investor for over 20 years. And I was like, I've heard of wholesaling, and I don't want any parts of it. So then I went to my aunt's funeral, and my cousin, went to pick my cousin up from the airport because she had flew in for the funeral. And we got to talking. She was like, "You're still selling real estate?" I was like, "Yeah." She said, "You still flipping houses?" I was like, "Yeah." She goes, "Well, so you need a wholesaler?" And I was like, "No." She was like, "You should wholesale. You would be great at it." And I'm like, "No." So now mind you, this is a 40-minute drive from the airport back to where we were both going to stay. She then tells me all the details of wholesaling along this 40-minute drive. So she's got me. She's hooked me in. I'm like, okay. Then I didn't do anything with it for 6 months. Came back to Buffalo, started running my business, kept running my business, didn't pay her any attention. Then she called me. She goes, "Did you start it?" And I'm like, "No, but I have a property that I can do it with. I just found a property." She goes, "Okay, let me know if you need some help." So I wholesaled the property. The property was on, my first wholesale was on the MLS. Yes, you can wholesale properties on the MLS. My very first wholesale deal was on the MLS. It was a house that was on the market for 30 grand. A friend of mine, we had went to breakfast or lunch one day, and he goes, "I got that house under contract for 15,000, but I don't want it." I was like, "What do you mean you don't want it?" He goes, "I thought I did, but I got so many other projects, I don't want it." I said, "So if I can sell it for you for 30, if I sell it for you for 30, 35, do you mind?" He goes, "Do I get my money back?" It's like, "Yeah, you get your 15 grand back, and then I get the other 15 grand. He goes, "How about if we split it?" Because he's an agent, I'm an agent, so of course it's got to be something in it for us. So I said, "Okay." So we split 15,000 because he had it under contract for 15. I sold it for 30, and we split it for 15. Of course, after everything was said and done, I ended up getting $6,439 once all the closing costs and everything went into it. So you see, because we had to do a double close. And that's the thing, unless you have a wholesale friendly real estate agent handling the listing side, you are going to have to double close. They can still close on the same day, but you have to double close. And we'll get into that later in the week too, how to close out each deal, but you have to do it a certain way. So that's how I got started. Here's how you can get started. Before you get started, sorry, fooled you. Before you start, know this. There are two basic ways to wholesale real estate. How you start depends on which method you want to follow. Now, the first method, and I'm going to put both methods up here together, and they look lengthy, but they're really not. And I'm going to go to the wholesaling side first. Wholesaling is finding a motivated seller. You're going to find a property. How you find this property is you're going to drive for dollars. Now, driving for dollars, that is where you drive around, you take note, you take note of the address of houses that look like they may want to sell. Here's what you're going to look for. You're going to look for a bad roof, a bad porch, chipping paint, boarded up windows, boarded up doors, homes that look abandoned. If you are up north where it snows, or anywhere it snows, because sometimes, hey, it snowed in North Carolina and that's not north. So anywhere it snows, look for the house with no shoveled walkway path to the door. If it doesn't snow, look for the grass that's overgrown. Look for a stuffed mailbox. Nobody's picked up the mail in days. That's what you're going to look for when you're driving for dollars. Okay? Housing violations court. I have gone to housing violations court, and I sit in the courtroom and listen to all of the people get called up for their housing violations. And as they leave the courtroom, I hand them my business card and say, "If you want to sell this property, give me a call." It's that simple. Landlord-tenant court, you can't sit in the courtroom. So I stand on the opposite side of the wall as the landlords are actually signing in for court, and I hand them my business card. "You want to sell this house? let me know. Now, I am in landlord-tenant court once, well, it used to be every month. Now it's like maybe once or twice every quarter. I do all my evictions on one day, but that's the landlord boot camp we're going to talk about later. Now, what we do with landlord-tenant court, you got worn out landlords. They're tired. The tenants aren't paying the rent. That's why they're in landlord-tenant court, because they're looking to get an eviction. The state laws are getting stricter and stricter. So these landlords are frustrated. They're tired. They don't want these properties anymore. So you make them an offer and they're ready to sell. Word of mouth. Your mouth is your best advertisement. You have to let people know what you do. It should be on your social media. It should, every opportunity you get to speak about it, you should speak about it. It should be on Craigslist. It should be on your business cards. You should have a t-shirt on that says, I buy houses, we sell houses. I want your house, anything. You have to do this. You have to be your own advertisement or advertisement, depending on where you live. And the dreaded bandit signs. We all see those signs attached to the utility poles that says, we buy houses. We'll pay cash for houses. We all see that, right? That's a bandit sign. The reason why it's called a bandit sign is because you never see anybody putting them up. It's like a thief in the night. As soon as it gets dark, they come out, they put their signs up, and you roll with it. The thing is, they can be illegally placed. So you have to be careful where you put those, because some of the phone calls you make or you receive might be a local police officer giving you a ticket for putting a bandit sign where it didn't belong. You are going to have to, after you find a motivated seller, you're going to view the property. This is where you're going to go to the home. You're going to meet the seller. You're going to take a ton of pictures. Please, please, please ask for permission first. If they say yes, you take a picture from every corner of every room for future use. Once you've decided you want the property, you're going to negotiate the purchase price, sign a contract. Then you have to market the property using those photos that you use. So you're going to create a marketplace ad in Facebook. You're going to create an ad on Craigslist. You're going to create an ad on Facebook. You're going to email it to all your buyers. You're going to hustle that house. You're going to sell it. You're going to market it like crazy. Then you're going to negotiate a deal with the buyer. Once you and the buyer have come to a price, you and the seller have come to a price, you are going to sign the contract and close the deal. That is a normal wholesale transaction. That is what happens. Here's how reverse wholesaling works. And this is what we do here at Trinity. We find the buyer first. Now, here's what happens. I find my buyer. My buyer tells me what they want, how much they're willing to pay for it, where they want it located, what square footage they need to be. They give me the details of what they're looking for. Now, there are 3 types of buyers that you have. You're going to have flippers who are looking for flips, landlords who are looking to buy and hold on to property, and then you're going to have your homeowners. These are the people who are looking to purchase the property to live in it. So you have to be very creative with your contracts on the seller side. Now, if you should know ahead of time what their purpose for finding a home is. If their purpose is to find a home to live in, you know they're going to be financing this home. You know the home might need some repairs and they might have a huge finance budget and it's going to take you a little longer to close. Same thing with a landlord. They may not close in cash if it's a house that needs some work. They might get what they call a loan, a rehab loan. And flippers, most flippers are going to pay you in cash, but if they're not, they might have a higher money loan attached to it. So you have to be careful that there are 3 types of buyers. Now, where you find these buyers, social media, Craigslist, bandit signs. Yes, you can use bandit signs to find buyers. And you have real estate investment meetups. That's where you find most of your buyers. You're going to determine their needs. Ask them exactly what I said about the 3 different types of buyers. Ask the flippers what they're looking for. Ask the landlords what they're looking for. Ask the homeowners where they want to live. You have to ask them. That's the only way they're going to know. You need to know location. You need to know price. You need to know how much work they're willing to do. And you also need to know how they plan to pay for it. It's part of qualifying your buyer. Then once you have the idea of what they need, you're going to go out and locate the property. Once you locate the property, you negotiate a deal with the seller, you negotiate a deal with the buyer, and you're going to sign 2 contracts. If you're doing an assignment, you're going to sign one purchase agreement with the seller. You're going to sign an assignment contract with your buyer. If you're doing a double close, you're going to sign one purchase contract with the seller. And you're going to sign a separate purchase contract with the buyer. Then you're going to close. Now, I said at the top of this that we here at Trinity, we like reverse wholesaling, because what good is a property that nobody wants? So you can get 1 million properties under contract, but if they're not selling because nobody wants them, what's the point? We believe find what the buyers want, go out and find it for them, and then we sell it. So when I hand in a deal, I hand in both contracts at the same time, go over to my attorney, they go over to my title company, whatever you might need. So that is how you reverse wholesale. And that is how you get the best results. We keep track of this. We keep track of our wholesale deals on a tracker. And it basically keeps us, well, we know when we're supposed to close, but that doesn't always seem to be the case. We don't all close at the same time. And I've had one real estate deal close on time this whole time that I've been in this business. And Sean is asking, do you always do a double close? Absolutely not. The answer to that question is no. The reason why I don't always do a double close is because I don't want to pay the additional fees that are affiliated with the double close. I do an assignment fee. How do I determine which one I want to use, a double close or an assignment? It depends on how much my profit is going to be. If my profit is going to be over $10,000, I will do a double close. Because guess what's going to piss off your buyer and your seller more than anything else is to know that you made 10 grand in the middle. So that's 10 grand less your buyer could have paid, it's 10 grand more your seller could have charged. So no, people are usually fine with you making under $10,000. As soon as they feel like you made more on the deal than you should have, they get a little crazy, and you're in for it at that point. So you don't want to do that. If you are a licensed real estate agent and you are attempting to wholesale, you have to disclose your license. You have to disclose your license to the seller. You have to disclose your license to the buyer. You also may want, and I suggest you do, put it in the contract, because if anything ever comes back and they say you did something unethical, you were acting as an investor, not utilizing your license, and your seller was advised that they should seek their own representation. Your buyer was advised they should seek their own representation. They decided not to. So that's how you cover your butt if you're a real estate agent. So that's it for this little mini boot camp. Thank you for joining us today. We appreciate your time and efforts, and questions are going to start up in just a second. I do ask that if you are interested in learning more about this process, the registration that you signed will allow you to register for the entire week. This month, the whole month of May is wholesale, so we will be doing this every day at Monday through Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. If you're unable to make it, you can watch the replay. It will be on our YouTube channel, which is tag716. You can reach out to us on social media of all formats. Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo, Inc. is our Facebook page. Tag.716 is where we'd like to hear from you for Instagram. Tag716 is our YouTube channel. Tag716_team on Twitter. We do have our Tag716 Wholesale Network, our Lunch and Learn, which is this video will be a part of that, and our Tag716 Network and Mastermind Facebook group for all businesses, not just real estate. If you're interested in more wholesale coaching, DM your email address to our Instagram page, tag.716, and we will send you the link to get started. The Tag 716 University is coming soon, and when I say soon, I mean by the end of this week. Classes will be loaded, information will be addressed. If you are a part of the wholesale network, you have access to these classes already. If you are not a part of the wholesale network, then you will have to purchase the the university courses that you wish to see. Now, are there any questions regarding what we've discussed on this mini boot camp today? I think we did answer the question about, do you always double close? Here's the benefit of a double close, and I'll go into more detail to this later. The benefit of a double close is nobody gets to see your profit. That's pretty much the only benefit, because there are more cons to a double close than a pro. The pro, nobody gets to see your profit. The con, you have to pay transfer taxes at some stage. You have to pay closing fees. You have to pay title, because the title has to be updated when you do the double close. So that is why we do not always do a double close, because it cuts into our profit. Now, if I'm making a $25,000 assignment fee and I'm working with two people who don't care, I might do an assignment fee, but I still may cover my seller's closing costs so that they walk away with the check that they should walk away with. You know, I'll do your closing costs up to $5,000, things like that. So you learn a negotiation, and negotiation is going to be one day this week. I can't remember what day it falls in, but we're going to do some deep negotiation. Is going to be an hour by itself. All we're going to talk about is negotiation. So that was the one question we had. Someone asked me before, and I'm just trying to think of the most frequently asked questions that I get for this section. Besides, how do I find a motivated seller? How can I tell my seller is motivated to move versus how they are, if they're just one of the looky-loos, just looking to see what the market is going for? You can tell by asking certain questions. How soon are you looking to move? Where are you moving to? Because they usually most motivated sellers have a plan. You know, why are you looking to sell now versus waiting until later or something else? So there are certain questions that you have to ask. And we have, like I said, in our boot camp, in our normal boot camp, we have the question and answers. We have questions that you can pose to your sellers to see if they're motivated. And we also have a checklist to see how to qualify those buyers. Now, are there any other questions from you guys? Oh, Cynthia, you had a question? I see you raised your hand. The lag time sometimes makes it a little harder for me, because because my lag time when I'm speaking, I have to wait wait about, there's like a 5-second delay. So I don't get to all the questions. I don't see them. Okay, so we must have answered her question. She said no, she doesn't have any other questions. Now, does anyone else have any other questions about what we went over today? And I know today was just like, what is wholesaling? Who should do it? How to set it up? What is wholesaling? Like wholesaling versus reverse wholesaling, the difference, the pros, the cons. We've pretty much gone through that. Now, tomorrow we will discuss who should be on your team, because you do need a team to wholesale. We're also going to discuss some tools that you need. We call it the tools of the game. And we're going to go into sellers verifying. We're going to do how to motivate the sellers. I'm sorry, because I'm trying to remember this off the top of my head. Motivated sellers. And we're going to talk about qualifying your buyers. So that will be tomorrow, and probably by Wednesday will definitely be knee deep into negotiations, and that's going to be a little bit of time. So I don't want you guys to think I'm not trying to give you information. You will, if you've ever attended any of our lives, our video presentations, we probably give out more information for free than other people are going to charge you for. So with that being said, if there are no more questions today, I will see you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Trinity Alliance Group of Buffalo, Inc. presentation of the Wholesaling Real Estate mini boot camp. And we will go over team building, tools of the game, how to tell if you have a motivated seller, and how to qualify your buyers. And then on Wednesday, that whole entire hour will be dedicated to negotiations. We'll even do what we call scripting. So please have your pen and papers ready, because we are in session 3 of this mini boot camp. We are definitely going to go over negotiations and scripting. All right, you guys enjoy. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.